All right, let's roll over to the running back position. You got a guy on the list that you can probably grab on your waiver wire, and we finally saw great James Robinson this week. No Urban Meyer. Can we expect that again this week? I've got my fingers crossed, Babs.
It's the Jets. Listen, Duke Johnson just had the best game of his career, and he hadn't been on a roster all year long. So, this is a great matchup for Robinson. Last week, 45% of the touches, 17.8 fantasy points against the Texans, and this matchup is spectacular. The Jets have allowed 25 total touchdowns and the most fantasy points to running back, so Robinson is in my top 10 at the position this week. And then Jen mentioned it, right? A guy who you can pick up off the waiver wire, Ronald Jones. He's going to see a bigger role in the Buccaneers offense this week because Leonard Fournette is going to be out, right? And also keep in mind, Chris Godwin out, Mike Evans injured. So they may have to lean on Ronald Jones against the Panthers. They've allowed 13-plus fantasy points to 4 different running backs in their last 3 games. So Rojo, off the wire into your starting lineup for the fantasy playoffs. I also like David Montgomery and Javonte Williams this week.
I like those guys too. Now, at the running back position, if we have the luxury to sit somebody, it looks like there may have been a bit of a changing of the guard in Los Angeles. Maybe Darrell Henderson's is still a little bit injured, but it really went away different than a lot of people expected last night. I was fortunate enough to have Sony Michel in my lineups, but for those people who had Darrell Henderson, should they be concerned?
Yeah, no question. This is why I didn't want Darrell Henderson, because number one, the guy always gets hurt. Although he's talented, that injury proneness has now, at least based on what we saw against Seattle, lost him the featured spot in that Rams backfield. So we saw Sony Michel, who had a 40% touch share, and Henderson was at 16. That's not good. Michel also averaged over 5 yards per carry. So I don't know if the Rams coaches are just a bit down on Henderson because he's been banged up, he can't stay healthy, but it looks like Sony Michel is the top guy in that backfield. And even though the matchup this week is really good, I don't think I can trust Darrell Henderson if the usage continues to be what it was against Seattle. And then Myles Gaskin. And we were all happy that Gaskin came off the COVID-19 list. This is great. He's going to play the Jets. It's going to be an amazing matchup. Yeah, Duke Johnson ended up being the guy. And Gaskin played 17.2 in terms of the touch percentage last week. That's not good. And now he's got the Saints, and their defense has allowed the 5th fewest fantasy points to running back since week 9. So not only do I not like Myles Gaskin, man, I don't know that I can trust Duke Johnson this week as well. I'm also fading A.J. Dillon and Devonta Freeman for the Ravens.